You've heard it 1,000 times. Consistency is key. But let's be honest. Sometimes that key feels like it unlocks a prison cell, trapping you in some painful grind every day. Think the hardest part is just showing up? That's adorable. The real challenge is way sneakier. Like that one sock that vanishes in the wash. You start a 30-day challenge feeling like the main character. Unstoppable, disciplined, ready to transform your life. A week later, you're staring at the ceiling. Maybe I was just meant to be average. Sound familiar? Here's the truth. 30 days of consistency isn't just about building a habit. It's about exposing the little gremlin in your brain that whispers, just skip today. You deserve it. And before you know it, one cheat day turns into a full-blown personality trait. That's why Thorfinn's journey in Vinland Saga hits so hard. It's not about Viking duels or revenge. His biggest battle? It wasn't against an enemy. It was against himself. And once you understand that, you'll never look at discipline, motivation, or your own excuses the same way again. Because your biggest enemy? It's not out there. It's the voice in your head whispering, "Bro, just start tomorrow." The fight you didn't know you were in. The hardest part of any challenge isn't the work itself. It's the fight happening inside your own head. You don't quit because the task is impossible. You quit because your brain, in all its sneaky, self-sabotaging wisdom, convinces you to. And the worst part? It's not some movie villain screaming, "Give up now!" No, it's quieter, like a shadow slipping through the cracks, whispering, start tomorrow. And tomorrow, that sneaky little liar never actually shows up. You think you're ready for a challenge. Maybe it's a new workout, waking up early, or finally reading that book collecting dust on your shelf. You start strong, full of energy, telling yourself, "This time, I'm different." Then day 10 rolls around, and suddenly your motivation's mysteriously vanished. Now, every excuse in the world starts sounding reasonable. A study from University College London found that it takes an average of 66 days to form a habit. So, 30 days? That's not enough to rewire your brain. But it's plenty of time to expose every excuse, every weakness, and every mental shortcut your brain tries to pull. It's like holding up a mirror to your discipline and realizing, oh, so that's what I look like when I give up on myself. The problem was never the challenge itself. It was the internal battle between the version of you that wants to level up and the version of you that just wants to eat chips on the couch. Thorfinn on Kettle's farm, his body's still strong, but his mind shattered. No fight left. No purpose. Just a hollow shell of the warrior he used to be. The Thorfinn who once burned with purpose now wakes up every day feeling like a hollow shell. And here's the thing. No one's stopping him from fighting for a better life. There are no chains around his ankles. The only thing holding him back is the voice in his head whispering, "You deserve this. There's no point in trying. Your past sins can't be undone." He could give up completely, let himself rot away in regret, and for a while he does. But then something changes. He stops listening to that voice. He chooses to stand up, to work, to live. Not because it's easy, not because he feels like it, but because doing nothing is even worse. And that's the real battle. Not against external enemies, but against the quiet, relentless thoughts that try to keep you weak. So, how do you win against this sneaky, self-sabotaging version of yourself? First, expect the resistance. Don't be surprised when your brain starts throwing tantrums and telling you to quit. It's literally part of the process. Second, stop waiting to feel like doing the hard thing. If Thorfinn had waited until he felt like changing, he'd still be stuck in the same revenge loop. Discipline isn't about feelings, it's about action. And third, commit to the full 30 days. No negotiations. No, just one cheat day. Finish what you start, even if it's messy. Because once you conquer the voice inside your head, the one telling you to take it easy, to quit, to wait for the perfect moment, you'll realize something powerful. The hardest battle was never the task itself. It was always with your own mind. And once you win that fight, everything else becomes easy. The power of detachment, letting go of the past. But sometimes resistance isn't just about excuses. It's also about the weight of the past. And if you don't let go of that, you're dragging chains into every challenge. Here's a hard pill to swallow. Your biggest roadblock can be your attachment to what happened yesterday, to your past. Ever catch yourself procrastinating because of something that went wrong in the past? Like maybe you bombed a project or missed a mark on a goal, and now every time you think about trying again, you freeze up? Your mind goes, nope, we're not doing that again. Suddenly, the couch seems way more inviting, right? And it's not because you're lazy, it's because your mind's still stuck in that past failure, paralyzing you from moving forward. Classic. But here's the catch. The past failure doesn't own you unless you let it. This is where detachment comes in. It's actually a core principle in Stoicism. Epictetus, one of the OG Stoics, had it figured out. He said, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Translation, you can't control the past, but you can control whether you let it haunt you or fuel you. Thorfinn kneels in the dirt, gripping his dagger. Asklad is dead, the man he swore to kill. Gone, just like that. And yet, there's no victory, no relief, just emptiness. His whole life was built on revenge. Without it, who is he? That's when it hits him. The past isn't his prison. He is. He's been carrying chains that don't exist anymore. And you might not be holding a dagger, but maybe you're holding on to something just as heavy. An old betrayal, a failure, a version of yourself that no longer exists. But the longer you cling to it, the longer it controls you. Thorfinn let go, not because he wanted to, but because holding on was destroying him. And that's the real lesson here. Your past failures, your regrets, they don't own you unless you let them. Letting go isn't easy, but it's necessary. I mean, who wants to let go of the drama, the pain, the endless mind loops about what should have been? But it's necessary if you want to grow. Detachment is what frees you. Yesterday's gone. The only thing you can control is what you do next. So, next time your brain drags you back into the greatest hit montage of past mistakes, ask yourself, am I living or just rewatching? Because the past isn't a place you can fix. It's a weight you can drop. And the second you do, that's when you finally start healing and moving forward. Embrace discomfort. That's where growth happens. Most people quit before they see results, not because they can't do it, but because discomfort makes them tap out too soon. The truth is, growth doesn't happen when you're lounging in your comfort zone. It happens when you step into the fire and realize, oh wow, this is mildly horrifying, but also kind of awesome. Theodore Roosevelt nailed it when he said, nothing in the world is worth having or worth doing unless it means effort, pain, and difficulty. Translation, if it's easy, it's probably not making you better. Those 30 days, they're going to test you. You'll consider quitting. You'll start bargaining with yourself like a toddler negotiating bedtime. But guess what? That's the point. Research on grit and resilience, like Angela Duckworth studies, proves that success isn't about avoiding discomfort. It's about dragging yourself through it, even when every cell in your body's screaming, bro, let's just take a nap. Think back to a time when you wanted to quit, but didn't. Maybe it was finishing a brutal workout, forcing yourself to study, or resisting the urge to binge watch an entire series the night before an exam. You didn't feel like doing it, but you did it anyway. And afterward, you felt unstoppable. Now, take Thorfinn from Vinland Saga. His whole life was basically one long, painful self-improvement montage. But every time he endured another brutal lesson, whether it was losing a fight, starving on the road, or realizing revenge wasn't the answer, he leveled up. His life wasn't just about surviving. It was about refusing to stay broken. He made a choice to stand up, to learn, to grow into something stronger than his suffering. He didn't just endure hardship. He transformed because of it. You don't find your best self in the easy moments. If you want to make it through 30 days, you need to stop running from discomfort and start owning it. You'll want to quit. Your brain will beg you to quit. But remember Thorfinn, bloodied, exhausted, yet still standing. That's the moment that makes the difference. Stop running from the hard stuff. Walk straight into it. That's where you sharpen your edge. That's where you forge the strongest version of yourself. Thorfinn's greatest battle was never against an enemy. It was against himself. And just like him, your biggest enemy isn't out there. It's not your circumstances, not other people. It's the voice in your head, whispering that you're too tired, too weak, that you'll start tomorrow. But here's the truth. Tomorrow is a graveyard where dreams go to die. The only battle that matters, the one you fight right now. For the next 30 days, you'll face yourself, your excuses, your doubts, every weakness you've spent years avoiding. And in that fire, you'll see the truth. You're the only thing standing in your way. So, what's it going to be? Are you going to keep waiting for a perfect moment that never comes? Or are you going to step into the fight and make today the day everything changes?